All right, we've got the kid that we like to call Nate Benson out of Niagara County driving around. And Nate, the snow has really started coming down really hard up there.
Yeah, that's right, Pete. Hi there, Melissa. I'm on Hyde Park Boulevard in Niagara Falls. Let me switch the camera around so you can see. Pretty low visibility, I'd say probably 100 yards. It's not the worst I've seen all week, but you know, this is the first time Niagara County is seeing this lake effect snowstorm. Here on Hyde Park Boulevard, I've seen some plows come through. I was just on Route 31, kind of that interchange between Lockport and Niagara Falls. Several county plows, you know, coming through and making sure that very important road between the two cities was cleared as best it can be. Not a lot of wind with the storm, as Kevin said earlier, as well as Patrick. You know, very moisture-laden snow. It's not blowing around now. It's very heavy, wet snow. So we're not getting a lot of that blowing snow action like we saw back in 2014 and of course other storms. But here in Niagara Falls, very picturesque. Some traffic on the roads, but as we've been saying, there's no ban up here in Niagara County yet. I am still waiting to get a hold of some of the emergency response personnel from the county so I can just follow up on a few things. I still haven't been able to get a hold of anybody yet. I am working on that though, so I can try to provide a better update other than just what you're seeing. But what you're seeing, Pete and Melissa, is pretty great, and I'm not so bad either, right? So speaking of cooped up, I am very cooped up in the tracker. I'm going to go stretch my legs for a minute, but you know, it's you know, winding up here in Niagara County, and of course going to be shifting back to the north towns and the city, unfortunately, later on tonight.
It certainly is.
Yeah, and Nate, you've gone from Erie County to Niagara County, and
yeah.
What have you kind of observed as far as changeable conditions and how things are shaping up?
Yeah. You know, that's a great question, Pete. The one thing I will say is on Main Street in Amherst, as I was working my way out to Transit Road to come up to Niagara County, you know, the main roads there are clear, but there's walls of snow on kind of those secondary roads, either Yonge Street, Yonge Ave, you know, near Sheridan, things like that. There's like a wall of snow. Do not try to think your Hyundai can make it through that. It's not going to. Even the Storm Tracker struggled a little bit today just trying to get to where it's going, and this is a very heavy vehicle. Your vehicle's not going to get through a wall of snow, even if it's 6 to 8 inches. It's just not going to happen. You're going to bottom out, and then you're going to be stuck, right? And then I did see on Main and Transit, you know, there was a line of DOT plows trying to get through, and they just couldn't because there was cars on the other side of the intersection stranded, right? So then, of course, he had to bring in a front loader, a high lift to try to get that car out, you know, take some of the snow away so they could get out, and it creates a backup situation. Then the plow crews cannot get through, right? So then all of a sudden we've got deteriorating conditions on the roadways. So that was a situation I saw on Main and Transit earlier this morning. As I've traversed through Niagara County, it seems like they're on top of things, keeping the important roadways between all the rural communities and, of course, Lockport and Niagara Falls pretty clear. So, you know, they seem on top of it. Again, I am trying to actively get a hold of some of the emergency response personnel here in the county. As soon as I do, I'll have a more thorough update on what their emergency plan is, if there is any. I haven't heard of any advisories or bans up here yet, but again, you know, news will be trickling out once we are able to talk to them.
Okay, Nate, stay safe in that storm tracker. Thank you so much for joining us live. We'll check back in with you in a few minutes. And that situation that Nate described is exactly what I experienced driving in on the 33 this morning from the north towns going 33 west, but it was happening in both directions. That while the 33 was passable, it was the on-ramps and the off-ramps that, you know, the plows did not get to those. And so there were 4-foot, 5-foot drifts of the on-ramps and the off-ramps that the cars thought that they would be able to get through. So every single on and off-ramp of the 33 had cars stuck trying to get off and trying to get on. And it will take hours and hours and hours for those cars to be removed. And then think of the you know, EMS vehicles and police cars that might need to use those that now cannot because of those stranded motorists that are blocking those on and off ramps. So it really is a mess out there, not just on the mains and secondaries, but on every highway across Western New York.
Yeah, and a lot of the mains are, you'll look at it and say, oh, that's fine. it's the side streets and getting on and off of those. And by the way, Nate forgot to mention, he started his day stuck in Storm Tracker. He had to dig it out. So just a word to the wise, beware. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. But just the same, we've got Paul Hare tracking things on the roads with us this morning in Traffic Tracker 2. And good morning, Paul. How's things looking now?
Hey, Pete and Melissa. Yeah, I actually used the inbound 33 this morning, as Melissa had just mentioned, and it was the craziest thing to see so many vehicles. I don't recall a storm that we did coverage on where I saw so many vehicles stuck on the 33, at least. It was just such a sight. So the last couple of days, obviously, we've been showing many of the traffic cameras in the south towns, not so much the north towns. Here's the 190 near Niagara Falls Boulevard up in the Falls. It's been, again, unaffected for pretty much the entire storm, but that has clearly changed. Poor visibility here, and the snow is coming down. Again, the road is open, but the travel is treacherous at times. And in looking at these cameras on the entire stretch of the 190, believe it or not, this is a beautiful shot of the South Grand Island Bridge, near whiteout conditions on the island, and those same poor road conditions that we had just seen in the Falls. We had some treacherous travel earlier today on the 290 and also the 90 through Cheektowaga. This is the 90 right now at Walden. Finally, we're down to pavement here. I just had seen some crews a few minutes ago that were over on the right side of the 90 East that were plowing snow and snow blowing the snow off the roadway. And again, you see the sunshine out here, so it's just crazy how things have changed in just this short amount of time. This is the 33 right near Northampton. This is one of the locations where we had seen several vehicles stranded just a moment ago. It looks like, at least from what I can see on our traffic cameras, most of the stranded vehicles on the 33 have been cleared. A lot of the cameras I can't see because the lenses are actually iced over, but from what I can tell, we certainly have improving conditions on the 33. Keep in mind, all bus service has been suspended for Metro in Erie and Niagara County. Metro rail service has been delayed. From what I understand, they have a bunch of the rail cars in the yard there, but they're not able to get through the above ground portion, and they can't get the trains into the tunnel. So at least for right now, Metro Rail is not running. And as we previously mentioned, Paratransit is running limited service, but they're asking customers to reschedule if at all possible. Out at the airport, they're reporting all runways are temporarily closed due to snow and visibility issues. And also in East Aurora, have this report of some low-hanging wires. Maple Street is closed from Girard Avenue to Meadow Drive. Keep in mind, this is one of the areas of town where there is currently a driving ban, but if you are an essential worker that needs to head out, keep in mind you may be running into some hazards on the roadway, so add extra time and please use some extra caution. And again, if you don't absolutely need to head out, please don't, because we've been seeing vehicles off the roadway all morning long. And that is our look at Traffic Tracker 2. We will send it back to you, Pete and Melissa.
All right, thank you very much, Paul.